Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Flash of Trends. Who was Todd-Matshikiza? Why a Google Doodle is celebrating the South African jazz musician and journalist. Before we dive into today's video, I kindly invite you to subscribe to our channel, and give this video a thumbs up to show your support. Thank you for joining us, and let's get started. Today's Google Doodle celebrates South African jazz pianist, composer, and journalist Todd-Matshikiza. African icon Todd-Matshikiza is on today's colorful Google Doodle, honoring the legacy of his remarkable life. The cartoon was made by South African artist Keith Vlahakis to honor the maestro's masterwork, the orchestra's performance of the cantata, Uxala, meaning peace, at the Johannesburg Festival on September 25, 1956. The doodle was illustrated by South Africa-based pop artist Keith Vlahakis, who said he was heavily influenced by the album cover design for the South African musical King Kong, the music for which Matshikiza composed. Matshikiza was born in Queenstown, South Africa, on 7 March 1921, and was the youngest of 7 children. His mother was a singer and his father was an organist, and they taught him and his siblings how to play piano when they were young. He went on to obtain a diploma in music at Adams College in Natal, and a teacher's diploma at Lovedale Institute in Alice. He stayed at Lovedale to teach, before moving back to Johannesburg where he founded his own music school, the Todd-Matshikiza School of Music. As a composer, he is most famous for his work on the song, Quickly in Love, which appears in the 2013 film Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom, and the score for 2 theatrical productions, King Kong, 1958, and Mcambane, 1960. King Kong, which had an all-black cast, told the real-life story of heavyweight boxer Ezekiel Dlamini, whose nickname was King Kong. The production was very successful with both black and white audiences, being staged in Johannesburg, Cape Town and Port Elizabeth in South Africa as well as at the Prince's Theatre in London's West End in 1961. It was this show, as well as a growing frustration with South African apartheid, that brought Matshikiza to London. He moved over with his wife, Esme Sheila Mpama, and their 2 children. Matshikiza was one of the first writers at Drum magazine, where he wrote a column about the artistry and evolution of jazz, and another on township life called, With the Lid Off. His journalistic endeavors allowed him to work for the BBC as presenter and researcher while in London, before moving to Zambia, where he worked as a broadcaster and a music archivist. Matshikiza was frustrated at being prevented from returning to South Africa, where his writing had been banned by the South African government. He died in Lusaka in 1968. His story is told in his autobiography, Chocolates for My Wife, 1961, which describes apartheid in South Africa and his move to London. Matshikiza was a South African pianist, composer, and journalist. Born on March 7, 1921, into a musical family in Queenstown, South Africa, his father, a talented organist, taught Matshikiza and his 6 siblings how to play the piano, while his mother was a vocalist. Matshikiza obtained a music and teaching diploma from St. Peter's College in Johannesburg. After graduation, he spent his free time writing choral works and songs like Hamba Call, while also working as a maths and English teacher. Finally, in 1947, the maestro was able to establish a private school, the Todd-Matshikiza School of Music. He mainly taught piano and jazz music. As this did not yield a steady income, he also moonlighted as a bookkeeper as well as a salesman. On top of all this, Matshikiza joined the initial group of authors for the Drum Music magazine. He published 2 columns, one about the development of the jazz genre and the other about life in the township. Both columns enjoyed enormous popularity. Out of all achievements in his career, he is best known for his music, including for the song, Quick in Love, which featured in Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom, as well as musicals, Mcambane, and King. Brief life in England. Matshikiza briefly migrated to England in 1960 to escape the ongoing apartheid in South Africa, which he describes in his autobiography, Chocolates for My Wife. London sounded like the best opportunity at the time as his musical, King Kong, which chronicled the life of heavyweight boxer Ezekiel Dlamini, also known as the moniker King Kong, became very popular and played at the West End in 1961. His time in England, however, did not prove to be productive. He He struggled to make an impression in the UK's local music scene. He later relocated to Zambia, where he was employed at the Zambian Information Service as a music archivist until his death in 1968.